Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray and we are here to check out a new series. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's been a while since I've recorded. My computer went kaput, let's say. It was a mess. I had to change the CPU. I attempted to change the GPU, but I bought the wrong one. It's a long story, whatever. So I just changed my CPU. I actually am ordering some RAM, some new RAM slices. So I will be changing that to kind of accommodate some of the things that I want to do with my computer in terms of gaming. So it's, but either way, I'm not able, like right now, I'm not able to run my video editing software on it. So I have a few more things to change. Honestly, it's a miracle that OBS is working, that I'm able to record at all now. But yeah, up until this past weekend, I haven't been able to do any recording. So I actually am quite behind schedule, so I'm gonna have to probably push the real full launch of my channel to next year, just simply because of how behind I am and I haven't been able to edit in this whole time. It's been kind of, so, but we're here. You don't need to know everything about it, but we're here. We're gonna start a new show. I decided to just start something really short and sweet. Just to get back into the swing of things after like a month of not filming. So I decided to start this, Japanese BL, my personal weatherman. I presume it's based off of some kind of manga or anime, probably a manga. Doesn't have to be though, so I never looked it up. I haven't looked it up or anything. I just know the basic premise of it being a BL and somebody's a weatherman and somebody's a mangaka, and that's about as much information as I know. I'm guessing based off this picture that the guy in the suit is the weatherman and the guy in the hoodie is the mangaka. Just gonna best guess it. Other than that, I don't know anything about the premise. I mean, it's a romance. It's probably just a romance, and it's a J drama. It's a JBL. So we can either get like the most ridiculously tortured, stuffy, romance, or it'll be the most over the top, hypersexual, manga-esque romance ever. So there's like like full of yaoi tropes, like there's no in between. No, I'm kidding. There are in betweens, but they're rare. Usually it's like it swings one way or the other. So I didn't look it up in terms of any of the reviews or anything like that. So I'm going in mostly blind. Honestly, I'm just ready to jump in. It's been a while since I filmed. I'm sorry if this is really awkward, but I'm just kind of wanting to get back into it with something short and sweet. So we'll see how it goes. As always, if you want the full length, you can always go over to my Patreon. Here I'm just going to cut it down as much as I can. This is a Japanese show, so I don't even know how much of this I can put on YouTube, frankly. It might be mostly just you watching me talk with no audio and just the picture in the back that you could see over my shoulder. Like, that's how intense Japanese, censors are. So you might have to go on over to my Patreon if you want to see it. If it gets blocked, I always, if something gets blocked on YouTube, then I will put that version on Patreon for free on, so that you don't have to join or you don't have to like pay for a tier or anything like that. It'll be free. And that's just simply because I if I was going to try and put it on YouTube and it didn't work, then I don't want to put it behind a paywall if I put it over on my Patreon, just because of the fact that I couldn't put it up on YouTube. Like, that's not how I want to roll. So if it was going to go on YouTube and it couldn't make it, and I couldn't figure out a way to cut it down to such a way that it could go on YouTube, then it's going to go on my Patreon for you guys to see the shortened version, and then the full-length version will be on the regular tiers that I always put the full-length version on. And that's just, you know, the way I want to do my channel. Okay. Anyway, I've talked enough preamble. Let's just jump into this first episode of this new show, My Personal Weatherman. Let's go. We're watching on Viki, as usual.
その日は
だから
He looks
漫画続ける意味じゃって
sufficiently shocked.
衣食住の金を保証してやるから俺んとこに来い
Not the proposal to be a kept man.
俺の言うこと全部聞け
All right, this is a J drama.
返事を
J dramas always have like the most outrageous premises. Not just JBLs, but all J dramas. So I guess we're gonna get a lot of forecast puns.
一日中天気予報だけ流してるライブチャンネルってあるじゃん。あれ、
Oh, it's a
一日中見てるやつ。
website channel
俺以外
that's
にいる？
just about the weather. Okay.
それでは気になる明日からのお天気見ていきたいと思います。
Okay. Nice art. Nice art style. Ooh, not drawing him.
今日の瀬ヶ崎さん見た？
うん、5回見たし今も見てる。
大ちゃんもほんと好きだよね。
好きじゃない。
どういう感情？
世界中に存在する顔の中で一番好きな造形ってだけで。
Sure.
別に瀬ヶ崎瑞希は好きじゃない。
Sure, bud. I mean, I guess you find him aesthetically pleasing. So theoretically, yes, you don't necessarily have to romantically like him.
物腰の柔らかさ。エブリデイウェザーに出演し始めてから視聴回数は100倍に爆発。
なんか歯切れ悪っ。
お前
Ooh,
また女と通話してんのかよ
did he just hang up his phone?
俺帰ってるんだけど
お帰りなさい。
飯
I guess that's where we at.
ただいまくらい。言えねえのか。
I mean, you did basically, like, agree to become his, like, in-house
悲
everything
しいこ
he
とに、
wants.
さっきの男は瀬ヶ崎瑞希のそっくりさんでも双子でもない。
あ、生姜焼き。
なあよあの女誰
I was just about to ask the same thing, actually. Just a fellow mangaka or somebody who works on the same manga he does?
あそう
Did he want it to be an affair? Like, why does he seem disappointed that he wasn't
聞
cheating?
くなよ。
Or I guess we don't know that they're together. Like, they're not together romantically. They're just living together and he's his servant. So I guess he technically could have, they could both have other partners, but because he didn't say be my boyfriend. He said just live with me, which is
味薄
just different. It's different.
醤油
ごめん。
Mm. What was the reason? This feels like a very under negotiated kink. And I feel like they need to pause, take it back to the drawing board, and like genuinely talk through their relationship. Very under negotiated.
お持ちくださいね。毎日天気予報ばかり見ている。
Yeah. Very obsessive. Oh, no, they fucking. Never mind. Never mind. Got it. What? I thought we were about to get a Kimi Wapetto situation where they weren't really fucking until later in the drama, but no. Okay.
これから晴れの日の前にするから準備しとけよ。
Not scheduling your sex sections around the weather.
雨多い。
So he hasn't had any in a while. So he's like, when will it stop raining? That's why he's watching the weather so much. Like, please. Okay, got it.
明日は天気が回復し、一日を通して晴れるでしょう。洗
He's
濯日和
like-
ですね。晴れ。
全国的にも湿度も下がり
このワードが
Tonight.
こんなにいやらしく聞こえるやつ、俺以外にいんのかよ。明日は晴れだ。晴れなので、この男は腹が満ちたら俺を抱くだろう。
They're both keenly aware of the fact that he predicted sunny weather the next day. Watch it rain anyway. A commentary on how the weatherman is always wrong.
そうっす。
It's a smart way to kind of build like anticipation like that. And it's unpredictable because it's predicated on the weather
待って
rather than say,
Right.
oh, every
Right.
Saturday or something.
"晴れ予報の旅に抱かれて、
It's a good kiss.
晴れなんて単語は暗い中で湿っぽく行われるそれとはちぐはぐなイメージなのに、まる
Are we
で
ever?
やらしい言葉みたいに
Not
頭に吸い込まれ
dirty.
ていって、
Oh, he needs to work through that, I guess.
分かってんのか、あんたの口から予報を聞いて。
口開けろ。
What we about to do?
だってあんたは恋人でもない俺に
Okay, just kiss some more. Okay. I thought it was about to go
Hey, kid,
somewhere real interesting. Never mind. This ain't Mood Indigo.
俺は
This
こ
ain't
い
the
つの
novelist.
契約済みの奴隷なので、その声に従うのが当たり前なわけで。
なんで晴れの前だけなんだよ。
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I just thought it might be just because of the building of tension and you don't know when it's going to be because it could be, 3 days in a row and then rainy, or it could be rainy for 5 months, Who knows? But maybe there's actually a psychological reason more than that. Or emotional reason. Yeah, because clearly there was a time before that where they didn't adhere to that schedule.
なんでやめんの？
売れてなくて。
Not this transactional start.
返事は？
あれから3年。
Oh, 3 years. It's been 3 years. Okay, got it. Thanks for giving me a date, a time frame. My God. Interesting. So they've been together for 3 years. Wow. I wonder if he, because of the way it started, I wonder if he feels confused about whether or not, you know, they're truly dating. Or if it's still some kind of transactional relationship that could end on a whim. I wonder.
よう、今日遅くなるから晩飯いらね。気象庁による速報です。西日本や東日本各地で梅雨入りしました。同じ梅雨でも地域によって雨の降り方の傾向に違いがあるのをご存知でしょうか。大きく分けると西日本では
しばらくないのか。
He's like, it's gonna be months!
しばらくしなくていいんだ。
Oh, he doesn't want to do it. Okay. A lot of whiplash going back and forth with this one. All right, that was episode 1 of My Personal Weatherman. They did. It's basically just setting the premise, setting the tone. Getting us at least used to or understand the dynamic of our 2 principal characters. We still don't know the full story of why. We know when. It happened 3 years ago. They were in college. He, you know, the weatherman, whose name I don't remember, Sasaki? Something like that. Sasaguchi? Might have been Sasaguchi. I feel like I'm missing, I was missing a syllable there. Anyway, he was his senpai, and I guess, you know, maybe he had I feel like he probably had a crush on him, but he can't approach, I don't know why he couldn't approach him and say, hey, I kind of like you, let's date. And then roll out his, you know, DS kink and say, hey, how do you feel about organizing our relationship like this? I mean, obviously you wouldn't approach it exactly that way. That's not how normal, you know, kink negotiations necessarily go. But like, I feel like the way he handled that was very, he just sprung that on him. And it's probably one of the things that's confusing, our mangaka here, whose name I also do not remember. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's gotta be a bit confusing because the way you started your relationship wasn't like you started off dating and then slowly as you got to know each other, you learn this side of them that likes having that kind of dynamic and like, during a night of, I don't know, intimacy or something like that, they like, you had a conversation about what you like and what you don't like in a relationship, and this was like slowly revealed to you. Like, it wasn't a situation like that. It was just like, what do you want to do for a living? You want to be a mangaka? Oh, you can't because you can't make any money from it? Well, how about this? Be my live-in servant / slave. Also fuck me. And then I will pay for everything that you need in order to continue to be a mangaka. So it's like, he must be wondering why. And also why him? And like, we still don't even necessarily know how close they were before this relationship started like this, other than he was his senpai. He at least knew him enough to sit down in the library and have a conversation with him, but we don't know if there was any kind of preamble to this. Was there ever an attempt to date? Did they like have crushes on each other back in school. I still think that the Weatherman probably did, but I don't know about the mangaka. So interesting. And an interesting like caveat to put on their sexual relationship where they only have sex the day before a sunny day. Interesting. So like, yeah, so it's like very, you know, unpredictable, like the weather is, where, you know, maybe you have months and months of rain because it's a rainy area, because they live in a rainy area. And so you're just going to have months and months of celibacy between you. And then it's sunny for one day, so you have sex once or however many times that night, whatever, and then nothing again for months and months or weeks. Like, that's such an interestingly, it's such an interesting restriction to put on the sexual relationship, the sexual side of the relationship. I wonder if he did that. I don't know, because I feel like if he was truly like, oh man, this guy is uncomfortable with us having sex, he would have just stopped the sex. I would hope. And then my question is the mangaka, like, cause he was, this is a very murky, gray relationship, because it's not like they started with like, oh, let's sit down and talk about what we like, and oh, I still want to date you after that, and I actually think I might like that too. Let's try it out, you know, as a couple, like, ooh, let's try out this new dynamic between us, and it unfolded into this, you know, DS relationship. It's not like that. It was like he just sprang it on him, and suddenly he like found himself in the middle of this, and he almost is like, you know, hasn't had a chance to like really sit down and think about, you know, if that's what he wants. And like the fact that he kept calling the word sunny, it feels dirty to him because that's the day that they have sex, is a little, you know, like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, because this could go real left real quick. Let's just say that. Other than that, I mean, I think the show did a good job of setting up the premise, and we understand the basics of the story and the characters and their relationship with each other. I think we have more to unfold, like why in the world he would even approach this man and say this. like why would he even say that out, like, in that way, instead of approaching him normally, like, hey, I want to date, and also there's this other aspect of me that likes this, you know? So I'm very curious to see what his story is, what the Weatherman story is, his background or something. I want to know a little bit more about his manga, actually. I saw a couple of panels that were like, oh, okay, that's the kind of manga it is. But I'm curious to see if we'll get more into that side of it. What was that other BL with the mangaka and wasn't it the mangaka and the pop star? The J-pop star? And he was like, he wrote, I think he wrote like, what's it called? Bara? He wrote like really like hunky, you know, not yaoi, but like just queer, you know, manga. He wrote like really like, you know, super hunky, super, you know, ripped dudes fucking each other. I don't know how else to say it, but that's what he wrote. And he was dating his high school friend who was a J-pop star, or up-and-coming J-pop star. They weren't super big. They were just kind of on the rise, rookies. But we got a lot of his like art, like his life as an artist, and you know, his dream of being on that one, you know, having a booth along that one wall. Because I was like, you made it as a doujinshi. Your doujinshi made it, you know, there. Because he wrote, I mean, it's manga. Doujinshi is manga, but it's also, it's a little murky. I think he wrote doujinshi, and it wasn't like officially published. It was like you know, it's the kind where it's like self-published almost. But there was like a whole storyline with him and his art and him trying to find inspiration and the art he used to draw and the art he's expected to draw, and etc. etc. I wonder if we're gonna get into that with our main dude, because I'm very interested in that kind of stuff, like the industry of, you know, comic books or manga. So yeah, no, it's a pretty good episode, pretty good first episode. They did exactly what they needed to do. I like the characters. I think the acting's fine. It's not like, you know, the most amazing acting I've ever seen, and neither is it like the worst. So it's exactly what's needed for the story so far. Just 25 minutes under our belt. So I'm excited to jump into the next episode. I'm just gonna probably try and get through the first 4 episodes, like the first half of the show, and then I'll probably do the second half tomorrow, film the second half tomorrow. So I'm gonna be filming these pretty close together, like I always do. I just it's rare for me to go 1 episode per week, just because I'm doing a lot of pre-recording. Maybe once I actually fully launch my channel and I'm watching, if I'm watching something live, then I'll do probably something once a week. But for now, it's just not feasible for my schedule for me to pace things out like that. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna jump into the next episode right now. Let me know what you guys think. Quite the opening. Wasn't what I was expecting going in, but I should have known from this poster. Look at this poster. Hold on. This poster with him grabbing his chin. I should have known this was going to be that kind of BL. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking, but for some reason I wasn't thinking that. Alright, let's go ahead and jump to the next episode. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. You can always go over to my Patreon for full length, or for early access to episodes that have not released on YouTube. Because of course, probably by the time you're seeing this on YouTube, this whole show will be up on my Patreon, so you could probably watch the whole thing with me there. But you know, if you're not interested in that, that's totally fine. Feel free to stay here, because next week I'll be releasing another episode. All right, I'll talk to you guys then. Bye.
Whatever, all this ever but you long.